Yeah. What I would like to ask next is that your books have been widely appreciated for providing fresh perspective and thought-provoking themes. So, what is the particular message or theme you aim to convey through your retelling?
As I said, no, it is, there are multiple truths and your truth may not be my truth. I'm just showing different perspective so that people will have an overall understanding of it. But basically, it is storytelling. So storytelling has to be entertaining and also should have some meaning. Meaning as it will be difficult to explain as a theme because you have to read the book and find it out. No, otherwise, what is the point? I have to just tell the theme and be done with it.
Yeah. Yes. So is it this one thing that a lot of us wonder while having guests like this, like of such a magnitude and such those who have been like popular in their own field, was being an author always an idea that you developed the interest at a later stage in your life?
No, I always wanted to write. Only the opportunity came much later. It took a lot of time. But I always wanted to write.
So, what was lacking in the corporate job you had? Was it like blocking the way you wanted to go in life, or like was it something more?
Corporate job is corporate job. When you do it for living, that's why they pay you also. When they pay you because they are making you do something you don't like. That is why any job people pay. Isn't it? What you love to do, we do it for free also. So corporate jobs always are boring. Only thing is that many people have, of course, there are people who love it, or develop a love towards it. But for me, after working for some time, I felt very boring. So basically, to escape boredom was what I did.
Definitely something a lot of people need to hear. I mean, in our college as well. So in today's world, like you said, we are like, this generation is quite different. So in today's world where our attention span is deteriorating thanks to Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, this is something that all potential writers in the audience would want to know and learn. What is your strategy that you use while writing content, either for screenplays or for books, to draw the attention of those who are witnessing or reading them?
If the content is engaging enough, naturally, films are doing very well. There are a lot of films collecting crores of rupees, despite all the Instagram and other things. So if content is good, good books still sell. So if the content is good, it doesn't matter how many hours it takes to tell the story. The story has to be engaging. There are web series which goes for like 60 hours of storytelling. Still people watch it. So it all depends on how do you write it and how well you write it. If you start competing, and you are not competing with TikTok videos with a book. They're all different. People who watch TikTok videos also will come and read the book, who want to read the book. Other people will just make it as an excuse that I don't have time to read. Those people would have never read it. Even 50 years ago, had they been born also, they would not have read the book. It's just an excuse to say that I don't have time. Those who want to read the book will read the book. Still, as you said, so many millions of books are being published even now. So all the publishers who are doing it, they are not doing it as a charity, right? They are doing it as a business. So much people are still reading. And people who don't want to read will find excuses. Now it is TikTok videos. If that was not there, something else they would have found to not to read. That's all.
So do you think that after the onset of this short form content, like you said, TikTok and stuff, do you think that it has stolen some of the people who would be interested in this in the long form content? Like you said you write screenplays, so something about that. Do you think that it will take the people from that domain?
I answered that in the previous question. No? Those people who are attracted by TikTok are not going to read, or Even otherwise, if TikTok was not there also, they would have found some other means. And otherwise, what happens? People who have no interest, they don't have any other choice. They come to watch a long format of film, or they have nothing else to do. That is why they are reading the book. Those people, anyhow, you are not going to engage them. You will make them more bored only. So there's enough audience for all the films and the books even now, despite TikTok. TikTok is not a competition at all. Yeah, in marketing language, they are not even in the people who are watching TikTok is not even if you ask me, the target audience or target sector at all.
Okay, yeah, very well said, actually. So your works such as prequel to the Bahubali book series, like The Rise of Shivagami, has received critical acclaim and also unveiled by the director of the magnum opus himself.
No, it was
Could
an
you walk
official prequel. It was not that he unveiled it just like that. This was an official prequel of it. It was a part of the Bahubali. It's a part of the Bahubali. An official prequel of it.
Oh, sorry from my side. Yeah. So could you walk us through the process of writing the series? Like, did you ever talk to, or did you ever meet with S.S. Rajamouli for this specific thing itself?
As I said, no, it is an official prequel. No, it's a part of the team, so naturally it has to be done. No, it's not that he just like that. I saw the film and then I decided to write about it. It's an official prequel. I was a part of the official team. It is that is why it's called S.S. Rajamouli's Bahubali trilogy before the beginning. So it's a part of that film and creative universe. I was a part of the team. So definitely, I had interacted with all of them.
Okay. And can you describe the process more of developing the story?
Describe the process, and I didn't get the question actually. Describe the process in the sense I've been a part of a lot of films and shows, so all of them have follow almost the same process. In the sense that you have a storyline, then my job is to expand it, deepen the characters, make the story world. So I written a lot of. Sometimes I write the screenplay dialogues also, but in this case I was creating the entire backstory of these characters, like Shivagami, Katappa, and also that will add depth to the characters as they go forward or backward, like how it is going to be done in the series which is coming based on these books.
Yeah.
So it is like any other, like how I did for the series which is running now, the Taj. That also I did the same thing. So that is how I make a living also. I create story universes, expand it, develop it, enhance the universe. So that's a part of my profession.
And do you, like, now having worked in so many things, so what is the exact difference in working for or developing the script for the screens and the content while you write the books? Like, would you differentiate the two?
Screen is an industry, whether it is television or films. It's a big industry where the writer is just like an architect who draws the plan. Then somebody has to build it, do the interior decoration, painting. So there are thousands of people involved in it. When you are writing a book, the author is all in all. There is no one between the reader and the author except in supportive roles like the editor of the book or to tighten the story sometimes, and speller, the copywriting editor who do the copy editing, who do the spell checks and other things. Other than that, not many cover designers are there. Other than that, not many people are involved. So you can control your writing story, what you want to tell, you can tell. You have more freedom to it. But films is like you have constraints, which is a good thing if you ask me. There are constraints of what you can shoot, which actor is going to act, what is the schedule, and what is the budget, and what are the limitations. So it's a very technical thing. It involves lot of technicalities on how much to write, how much will be, what to write, who is going to be the actor. And talking not as a speculative script when you write, but when you are in the professional thing, you are called specifically for, okay, so and so film we have to write, so and so actors we might get, and the director wants so and so this thing, and this is our budget, and this is when we are going to shoot. Then you start developing it most of the time. So you are working according to the limitations and the constraints and the demands of the industry. That's a fundamental difference.
Yes, no, that's a good insight. So also now having worked in so many things, there's times where people feel like they have encountered a creative block where they can't think further, what to do next, how to develop their story universes. So is there any way for them to shift their mind and then build up the story? I'm pretty sure the people in the audience who are like interested in writing would be interested to know this.
It is, I always, every day you have a creative block. What you do is you push yourself a bit, and still if it doesn't work, you stop that project and go to something else. Free your mind and go to something else. So naturally, after some time, your brain will solve it, the creative block, and you will come back. But you need to have the passion for it. It's like any sports or arts. Unless you have passion, you won't be able to do it professionally.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it becomes a hobby. Whenever you like, you do it, that's a hobby. Even if you don't like and you don't have mood for it to do today, still you do it. And that is a profession. There's a huge difference between a hobby and a profession. I have many other hobbies which I draw when I feel like that, but that's not my profession. That's my hobby.
Yes, sir, very clearly said. Now, being one of the top 100 celebrities in India in 2015, sorry, and as well as 2017 by Forbes India. What is your advice to aspiring authors who will share the wish that their work is seen?
There is an element of luck in it that you cannot deny. There is an element of luck in anything, in success in anything, any field. But beyond that, you need to have a burning passion for it. And never give up is one of the things. But since writing is not a profession which pays you that much compared to many other things, it is always better to keep your day job and uncompromisingly keep on polishing your work until you achieve a level of success. And until you are confident of opportunities coming and you are financially stable, never leave your job.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Unlike one reason why I'm saying is, unlike other professions, writing doesn't have a age bar. Even at 90 years, people are writing. So there is no hurry for this. Do it. Take your time, do it in a proper way until you break into this, and don't rush into publication and waste a good idea in your impatience.
I'm pretty sure many people can relate to your experience where they're doing a job and then they want to do something where they're actually where they have their true passion. So at what point do you think that people should not keep their legs on two boats and just move with one with their trust on it that it will work?
For me, I was working not because I had great passion for working, I was working for making a living. So the day I found out that I could make a living in the same standard of living, or even if it is slightly better or less, doesn't matter. But that I was sure of it, I left the job. So then there is no point in keeping in two boats. So writing books in India, it's very difficult to make a living out of it. You can make a living out of it, but you are all studying in Bits Pilani and all, you'll all be having good corporate jobs, hopefully, most of you, 90% of you, or become good entrepreneurs and other
Yeah,
things.
touch wood.
The kind of money you will make from the corporate, uh, it will be very rare, hardly 4 5 authors. Was a lucky few I was one of the lucky few who could match the corporate salary through writing in books, or slightly more than that. But there is no guarantee that you will be getting it throughout your life.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are coming into this for money, this is not the right profession for you. This changes when you do screenplays and other things. That can yield you much more than perhaps most of the corporate jobs. Screenplay of films, and you are associated with big budget films and all. So I make a living out of screenplay. I make fame out of my books. It's a real fact. The money, most of the money, because screenplay, most people won't even know you are associated with which film screenplay, which show screenplay. So
That's a nice support system, having both.
I have written more screenplays than books. Number of words if I take, I would have written 10 times more screenplay than all my 14 books put together. So that is what is giving me my living and my lifestyle. Books give me the recognition and the fame and satisfaction.
That's a good system to rely on. So next, I would like to ask questions on your own works. Let us start with Ramayana, which is one of the main Hindu scriptures. You've laid emphasis a lot of times on the facts that there exist various versions of Ramayana around the world, because the one most of us would be aware of is Valmiki's Ramayana. According to you, how did all these emerge, and is there any version which would be particularly different?
Most of them are different. So many of them are different. Across Asia, there are Ramayanas. Both Ramayana and Mahabharata evolved over centuries with so many tellings and retellings and addition. They have been written and rewritten many times, depending on the time, place, and the need of the culture. So, so many of them are there. Mahabharata, more than 1,000 versions are there. Ramayana, more than 300 full versions, and countless partial versions are available. And most of them are not even written down. Many of them are oral. And I don't think I have even encountered 10% of what would be really available in out there. So many versions are there, still getting discovered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Ramayana, even on TV when it came, I saw this, like they had to specially give this message that this is our telling and there can be many, because people get very offended when it comes to these areas. So how do you make sure that nobody, like it keeps good with all the people and it is not like some community gets offended while reading it?
No, reading books, that much problem is not there. Books is about more about book. People are more open. In television, when you show the most common popular versions only. You don't take risk with television or the films generally. With book, the people who come to read book, they're very minuscule of the entire population. They come with an open mind. That's what book does to people. No? Books, reading books give you more openness rather than the passive consumption of stories like films or shows or even hearing oral tellings. They are all passive consumption. Books are active consumption. So books you can write different versions and there is no context collapse. What happens when you do through the shorts and TikTok videos or conversations like this, that you can take out a small part of the conversation, take it out of the context and make it viral and create enrage, make people enraged and all those things. And that is how most of this media works. So when you are doing it in the visual media, you tend to go with the traditional versions. But when you are writing in books, that is where you experiment. So that is why books becomes more fascinating to write, but very less people in comparison to people who consume the visual form of storytelling. It's very minuscule books. So they don't earn that kind of money what a television screenwriter or a film screenwriter or the professionals in that industry earn. That is why most of the writers in India, either they have a corporate job and then they write on the side the books, even very successful ones, or they are businessmen and then they write, or they are like what I do. They earn their living from the screenplays and then write what they want in the books.
Yeah, like is it a very common thing having like two of them beside you to support you?
And not many are there in the very best-selling writer league. Not many are there who dabble in both screenplay and books. There are a lot of screenplay writers who give up writing books also because after some time, screenplay sucks your energy. It pays you much more money. So there is no incentive to write books. Because books is like you write a book and you'll have to wait for somebody to pick it up and then read it. So the reward system is comparatively less, even if it is 1.6 million copies, 16 lakh copies. You have to understand that it is a very highly successful book like Asura or Bahubali. Bahubali, almost 100 crore people would have watched in India.
Okay. Yeah, definitely it was
popular. The book, all the three books would have sold all put together some 8-9 lakhs. And it's a new book, so it's still selling. So ultimately, in 30-40 years, it may, if at all it continues to sell like this, it will reach 2 million or 3 million in 30 years.
Yeah, whereas, I really hope it achieves the number it deserves.
One shot, even if it achieves that, see the comparison. It's almost 100 crores of people watching the film. Yeah. And 30 lakh of people, if you are lucky. So that's a difference. So, but that is fine. Even if there is only one reader, a writer will write the book because it's passionate about it. But considering all practical things, you need to have some other profession, and screenplay is the profession which I chose. I could have stayed in my corporate job and written the books, but I didn't find any meaning in my corporate job. I wanted to write. So I thought that I am a storyteller basically, and I don't want to define myself as a novelist and restrict myself to write only novels. I will tell stories in all formats. So after that, I told stories as OTT shows, as general television, as films, as audio dramas, short stories, whichever format is possible, non-fiction, whichever format is possible, I am doing it. So that freed me, that thought that I'm not a writer, I'm a storyteller, freed me.
Nice. And also, I wanted to ask this. Your books often explore the gray areas of characters, showing the human side of villains and challenging the aspects of good and evil. So according to you, are Ram and Ravan the true incarnations of good and evil, or there's something deeper about the characters?
I have always, I think, I've answered it umpteen number of times, this question. So somebody has heard any of my previous interviews will feel bored if I keep on repeating the same thing again and again. But I will, in short, to honor the question, I will only say Ramayana is never about good versus evil. It's a very modern interpretation, hardly 100-200 years old. It's always about karma and karma bala. I don't want to elaborate it because I have done so many of them and so many are available in the YouTube itself. So it will be boring for anyone if I keep on repeating the same answers for the same thing. But in summary, it is not a tale of good versus evil. Rather, it is about karma and karma bala. Both do their karmas. Maybe Ravan do more bad karma, and hence his fruits are bitter. But Ram also doesn't escape eating the fruits of his own karma.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for answering. I mean, it has been a great session, and I'm sure everyone has enjoyed listening to the different aspects of mythology from your point of view. This series of sessions that we at Bits Embryo have been hosting this week is in celebration of 77th Independence Day, and it has been termed the Bharat Dialogue. So, on a concluding note, we would like to know from you, sir, if you have to explain what three words come in your mind when somebody says Bharat, what would they be?
One is culture.
Mm-hmm.
Second is the open-mindedness.
Yeah,
And third is the diversity.
definitely. Unity in diversity. That's how it goes. It feels great to hear that, and I'm sure we all feel something not so different about Bharat within our hearts. That brings us to the end of this amazing session today, and it was a pleasure for me to host you. On behalf of everyone at BITS Embryo, BITS Pilani, Hyderabad campus, I would like to thank you again for taking some time out of your busy schedule to be here with us today. And I would also like to express my gratitude to our wonderful audience for joining us for the session today, despite all the technical glitches we had. We're so sorry for that. And we hope to bring you more such entertaining and insightful sessions in the future. Till then, take care, stay safe. Thank you, sir. Jai
Thank
Hind.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.